Welcome to the Cincy Postcast. I'm Kevin Wallace, and before we get started with today's episode, I get to tell you about our friends over at Streetside Brewery, my favorite, your favorite brewery in Cincinnati, over in the Columbia Tusculum neighborhood, east side of Cincinnati. They have a fantastic spot, which you have not checked. If you have not checked out, I know you have, but just in case you know somebody that hasn't checked it out, let them know what they are missing. It is a fantastic spot. They are brewing amazing beers there. Okay. You've got to go check them out. It's a ton of fun. They've got so many events going on. They've got delicious food there. The atmosphere is great. I absolutely love every time I go there. Great place to watch FC Cincinnati games, Bengals games, Reds games. It's a really, really, really good time. Absolutely love them. If you need an excuse to get out to them, on September 5th, they are doing their Oktoberfest, okay? That is a Friday. No excuses. Go check them out. You will absolutely love it. We are huge fans of theirs, and we just got to say thank you. Thank you, Streetside, for making all of this possible. And on today's episode, well, look, we're not talking about a win, tell you that much. We're talking about the 1-0 loss to the Philadelphia Union, a brutal, devastating, deflating loss to the Philadelphia Union. What went wrong? Look, it's tempting after a game like that to do the old, not going to talk about the game, or have some robots stand in for us on this one. No, we dive in with both hands, and we poke around. We do a little bit of an autopsy on this team, this game, this season. Even is what it feels like. It's very weird. There is still everything to play for. Every trophy that they were up for is still possible. But it doesn't feel that way. Why? Why does it not feel that way? We examine all of that. But in part two, the part that I hope most people listen to, don't listen to our soccer analysis, quote unquote. In part two is the Cincinnati Bucket List Challenge. We lay out what the challenge is for the Bucket List Challenge. This was the replacement of the Patreon questions in August. It is a hell of a lineup, a hell of a list. I am very excited. I cannot wait to dive into this. You take the good and the bad with this episode, but in the end, you end up with a lovely little postcast. Joining me to talk about all of that and more, I am joined by the Chief, as we have sent Grayson back to Europe to find Samuel Guidi to fix this team. Chief, how are we doing tonight?
Great. I just worry that we misunderstood the assignment, because I don't know that one more player fixes any of this.
Just one more
just
player.
One more player, man. I swear, just one more player, and it's gonna any day now. Oh, it's good to be here, Kevin. I am nursing a 3-day hangover. Feeling great, enjoying a holiday weekend, doing exactly what I want to be doing on this weekend, sitting here talking soccer with you. Wow. Booming sounds intermittently come in through the window from someone someplace shooting fireworks off.
It is an underrated Cincinnati tradition, the WEBN fireworks. I don't care if they have an official title somewhere. To me, they will forever be the WEBN fireworks, even if they stop sponsoring at some point.
Yeah, last year I watched the WEBN fireworks from RP McMurphy's with the former bar staff that they all fired because the people that run it now are smarter than I am. And the guy that's my friend that's the bartender just shut the lights off, and we just watched the WEBN fireworks in the dark in a bar that looked very closed with like the 5 of us that were in there watching at the time. It's an underrated holiday, although I do wonder like what percentage of the people that go or that, you know, are kids know what WEBN means.
Oh, man.
Do you even know? Not even do you know the radio station? Like, do you understand when like there's 4 call letters that start with a W?
Right.
Do you understand what that means? I'm guessing the answer is probably no.
No, I'm guessing not. For a second there, I thought you were going to tell me like where the WEBN, like what does it mean or what is it referencing, which I have to admit I do not know.
I don't know that it means anything. Most call letters are randomly assigned. You can have some control over it, and then like all branding associated with it comes after the fact. Like what are we gonna do with WKRQ? Well, we're Q102 now. So like you make it work, and then eventually like the branding takes over. Like, we're K-Rock in LA, some famous radio stations as well.
The only one that does seem to buck that trend, and this would kind of make sense, is universities, particularly state universities, but not always, will get their own thing. So here in town, WVXU and WGUC, and you'll see that W whatever UT in Texas or Tennessee, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I hosted a radio station on WTUL, Tulane Radio, when I was I was a younger man.
It's like the one time there's an exception.
We skipped the meeting where they were assigning time slots. So me and my fraternity brother got assigned Mondays from midnight to 3 a.m. hosting punk rock radio, which we didn't know anything about. So we just did talk radio the entire time. And
nice.
We didn't have the equipment to do a delay, but we still took calls on the air by holding the receiver in the studio up to the microphone, which was a tremendously poor idea.
Just a couple of FCC fines if anybody was listening.
Yeah, it's college radio. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody was listening to any of that nonsense.
Oh man, no, it's a good Cincinnati tradition. I'm excited to get into part 2 with you because we have
Cincinnati traditions.
The Cincinnati bucket list. There's some really great suggestions. Some people I don't think fully understood what we were trying to do, which is
it's even better.
Trying to do this like in that week, and one of the suggestions is tomorrow morning that I think we would have already had to sign up for. So that'll be worth quite a few points.
Yeah, if we can get that done. Yeah, I've already got plans for tomorrow morning anyway. So
yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I ditched the wife to go see Oasis in Chicago. So I do have to spend some time with Mrs. Chief here over the next 24 to 48 hours.
Oh, Chief. Okay. One, very jealous. Like, saw the photos, saw the videos. Everybody I've talked to that even like knows somebody that went there says it was an incredible show.
Religious experience. It was unbelievable.
So I gotta give you my cope take here. Okay. So just understand this is coming from a place of cope.
Hit me.
What has always bothered me about Oasis is the way that the Gallagher brothers treat like the world, is that they are like peak 1980s rock stars. Like they are Axl Rose, they are Slash, they are, they talk mad smack about every other band. They have no other favorite music. They're so judgmental of everything. The world is too small for them.
Yes.
And like all of their hits are like acoustic rock ballads. That just I feel like you cannot do both things there.
Here's where I'll push back on that.
Okay.
It's easy to believe you're the second coming of Jesus Christ when you can stop playing a song and 90,000 people just sing along with the thing that you wrote at that point.
Fair.
That's fair. That's Catholic Mass. Is that like, the congregation knows the call and response, and with your spirit, lift up your hearts. We lift him up to the Lord. Let us give thanks for our Lord our God. It is right and just. Like when you can do that, except it's maybe you're going to be the one that saves me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I can understand how that would give you a bit of a God complex when you can do that right there.
It always reminds me of, you'll still get this from time to time. It is always my favorite. Going back to WEBN, they'll do like coming out of the commercial break. It's like WEBN, the lunatic fringe of American FM radio, the hardest rock in Cincinnati. This is where the legends live. And it'll play up this hard rock, and it'll go into like a ballad.
Right. We go to Alice in Chains. It's like they come to Sniff the Rooster. It's like, yeah, come on, man. Like, this is not hard right here.
You can't build us up and then offer that. Yeah.
It was a great show. It was a lot of fun. Soldier Field, hate it. The steepest upper deck I have ever been in.
Yeah.
If I had to use the bathroom, I would have been like, I'm not coming back up here. This is not happening right here. Other big thing, and this is this takes some getting used to for me, is so longtime members of the 12s will know that I have incredibly terrible taste in music. I find my taste in music to be absolutely objectively correct, and that all other people are losers for not agreeing with me.
Sure.
I follow a lot of bands where, like, when you go to see a show, like tomorrow's show is going to be different than tonight's show. They don't play the same set in every single city.
Right.
Oasis very much playing the same set in every single city. They're here for it is a banger of a set list, but it was that was a little different, was the idea that, like, I already knew some of the songs they were playing, and it's like, oh no, they play them in the exact same order. Don't worry about it.
Right. Well, I'm sure too, with the Gallagher brothers, given how contentious the relationship is, the fewer discussions about artistic direction, probably the better.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, no, like whatever it takes. Like they have overcome their hatred of each other by a common love of money, and a lot of money.
Whatever gets it done, right?
Right. Yeah. No, it was good. It was. But what was funny about it too was, so like there are some like universal Oasis hits that like even the non-fans would know. Like I've loved this band since I was very little.
Right.
When they first came out in the 90s, and you always wonder with bands where both members are, let's be honest here, they're both dickheads a little bit.
Yeah.
You do often wonder sometimes, like, what, they might be the type where they're just not going to play their big hit just because screw you. So we go into the encore, and they still haven't played Don't Look Back in Anger, Wonderwall, and Champagne Supernova. And I'm like, this would be the biggest loser move of all time. And I'm like, I could see him doing it, and I'd have to respect like the hater level of the hell with you people. You paid your money, no refunds. Like, right. But it's cool. All three songs, the encore, plus what I consider to be their most underrated song, The Master Plan, in the encore as well. So like I was very pleased with that. I had myself a good time.
Nice.
So yeah.
No, you got to appreciate that. And you got to respect a band that knows why a lot of people are there, right? Yeah. It's like the classic trope of like, no, we're just doing the new album, guys. Like, no, I really want to hear the old stuff.
No, but then I turn into that obnoxious fan when I go to see like Dave Matthews playing. I'm like, no, play the deep cuts. I don't want to hear the casual songs.
Right. I guess it depends on how much you love the band, right?
Yeah,
like if you're into the band, you're like, I've heard the radio single 1,000 times.
And it's also like, how often do you see them? Like a band that tours every summer, like, or every year. Yeah, I want to hear the different stuff. Like, yeah, give me the show they played last night at the Gorge, where it's every track from Before These Crowded Streets in order, like in the middle of the show. Awesome. For like Oasis, where it's like, they're probably never touring again. They're going to fight, and then one of them is going to die of a drug overdose or something. Yeah, I want to hear the hits on this one time.
I'm gonna need the highlights here.
I'm gonna need Supersonic and Live Forever. Like, let's not like overthink this too much right here.
Man, well,
Thursday was great.
Good.
Friday was a good time. We stayed in Chicago for one extra day. Went to the Lincoln Park Zoo. I'm a big zoo enthusiast. That was a really good time. Had a great meal. Went to the Guinness brewery that they opened up there. Hit a couple other breweries.
Nice.
Out irresponsibly late. Ordered, pizza back to the hotel. Vibes were great. And I had told everyone I was going with, I'm leaving because I want to be back for this Philadelphia FC Cincinnati match on Saturday. I don't want to stay in Chicago an extra night. There were so many other things we could have done. We rushed back to Cincinnati so I could go to this game. I should have known. I should have known that the second I prioritized this over hanging with the boys in another city for an extra night, I should have known what I was signing up for. I should have known how this was going.
Chief, I think the game went so poorly, I retroactively assumed you would not have bothered to come back because I text you like, hey, are you still traveling? Am I doing the podcast by myself?
No.
No, I was at the game last night. Oh, you poor bastard,
yeah.
not Chicago. Okay.
Tough. And worse, I've been drinking for 2 straight days. So I tried to stay moderately sober for the game. So I had 2 during the pregame and then switched to a non-alcoholic beverage. And man, did I regret that decision throughout all 90 of the minutes I watched.
Jeez. Oh, man.
How do we even go about discussing this game? Because I don't want to be relentlessly negative on a holiday weekend, but by the same token, I don't know, man. The future for this club that this paints, and the future for this season that this result paints, it's hard not to look at this game as sort of frauds.
Yeah.
Am I wrong in that? Am I overreacting on this?
I've been debating this as well because I think I don't know, a couple episodes ago I said I was fully Noonan pilled, and I was just going to embrace whatever Noonan ball threw our way, and I don't want to be a coward and go back on that. So I think what you have to do is, with a result like this, you just need to recalibrate where this team is versus the expectations we had coming in, and whatever feelings you feel as a result of that are justified and valid. And what we do with that as a fan base maybe translates into something that the front office has to do at some point in the future. But basically, we went into this season with the assumption that this team was trophy or bust. Pick your trophy, but it was trophy or bust. If they had won Champions League or Leagues Cup or Shield or MLS Cup, so be it. And I think that expectation was correct then. I think it was correct a month ago. I think it's fine to continue to have that expectation now. However, for me, I think that the ceiling on this team is much lower than a trophy, and we can discuss what is holding us back from that. But that's where I'm at with this. I think this is a second round exit team. I think they'll get out of the first round just because of the best of 3. And I don't think they go much further than that because the teams around them are putting things together better. Yeah. I don't have the expectation that this team will win a trophy right now. They very well could. This is a good team. This is a talented team. I don't know. This is a good team. This is a talented team. This is a coaching staff with an established track record. And if you were to tell me that this team will win the Shield, I could believe it. And if you told me they would win MLS Cup, I could believe it. But I am certainly not thinking that they are contenders for either of those right now.
So let's reset where this team is right now. Because in their last 5 games against MLS competition, we'll leave out the Leagues Cup because that's a little murkier, I would say, especially given the lineup they played against Chivas. That was just a non-competitive lineup. They weren't trying to win that game. In their last 5 games against MLS opposition, that would include 0-0 against Inter Miami.
Okay.
A 1-0 loss against Charlotte, 3-2 win over Portland, a 1-0 loss versus NYCFC, a 1-0 loss versus Philadelphia. Their last 3 home games, they have been held without a goal. They have been held scoreless in 4 of their past 5 MLS games. On the table right now, they are behind Philadelphia. They are 5 points behind Philadelphia with 5 games to play. They are tied on point. They're about 1 point behind San Diego FC as well. So they're in 3rd place in the Shield.
Yeah.
They have a +6 goal differential to Philadelphia's +23
Christ.
and San Diego's +19. The Shield is done at this point. I don't see how they make 5 points up between now and within the next 5 games. That's playing a full point per game better than Philadelphia over 5 games. That would be something if that happens. And especially considering, again, they have played 3 home games against 2 of the 3 are not good teams. Charlotte's surging a little bit, so I guess I'll give Charlotte credit. But like NYCFC, kind of just there. They haven't managed to score once during that time period. And I keep struggling with this concept that this is about the most talent you can assemble on an MLS roster. They went out last night with basically 3 designated players in the attacking trio.
Yeah.
And were toothless the entire match. Like, were doubled up in XG. They played up a man for 30 minutes and didn't generate one realistic scoring opportunity. I don't think they put a shot on frame during those 30 minutes they were up a man. And I don't know how to consider that. Like, at this point, I would wager more they're going to lose every game for the remainder of the season than for them to win MLS Cup or even to win a playoff series. Like, this is a team that looks as offensively inept as the worst parts of the Jaap Stam era. That's like what I was thinking watching this team. It's Jaap Stam ball. It's a lot of meaningless possession, passing around the back, slow, like no real plan to move the ball, to advance the ball, to play aggressive. And that's one thing. Yeah. I can understand like not having an offensive identity, but also incredibly passive in defense too. Like, It was stunning watching the two teams play and how much harder Philadelphia played for all 90 minutes. Like, every single possession, Philadelphia was rallying to FC Cincinnati players to contest every possession, running, exerting max effort to try and disrupt the offense. And when they had the ball, it wasn't even a third that much effort. And Philly kept that up the entire game. And it's like, that was the hardest part to watch for me. It's one thing if nothing's working, your ideas, you're out of ideas, you can't break through. You can always hustle. You can always try a little harder to get the ball. You can, when you're being closed down quickly, you can go get a pass versus standing there passively waiting to receive it as someone is running at full speed to break the play up behind you. You can make yourself available and run and make off-ball runs and go rally to the person who is getting closed down. But like, one team ran, the other didn't. And I don't know what to make of that. I don't know what to make of anything that I saw. But what I came away from last night's game thinking is that this is a team that has assembled a ton of talent, and spent a lot of money and has absolutely no idea what to do with it. And it's leading to some tough conversations in the fan base and that I'm having internally that I just don't feel are being asked enough in the public sphere.
Yeah.
But I also don't know how to ask the right questions here. Like, I'm asking things like, do they practice? What do they do in training? Like, and I would love, and I know you can't ask this in a press conference, but like, I would love to ask in a press conference, like, what are they doing in training that they're not doing in the game? Yeah. And if training is bad, why isn't what we're doing in training different?
Right.
Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's like, this is bad right now.
It is so weird to watch this team that was doing so well at the beginning of the year, and sure, maybe there were warning signs there, but to see them get out hustled and to just not have any fight or any spirit was so depressing. Like, I swear to God, DeAndre Yedlin and Sergio Santos cannot be the difference between an entire team trying and not trying. I'm sorry. They are full professionals that have all played on teams without those players. Most of these guys have played on teams without those players. Okay. Like, they can do this. I promise. And the fact that there was just nothing, and every time a guy is on the ball, he has to like pause and think, what do I need to do next? And then when it comes time to execute a pass, is underhitting the pass or passing into space that nobody is going to be running into, because they either are not training that, or guys are just completely, not running their routes correctly, right? Like, that's always the thing in the NFL. A quarterback throws a bad interception, you think, what the hell was that guy thinking? No, the wide receiver, ran the wrong play or gave up on the route. I don't know exactly what's happening, but somebody is screwing up somewhere. And it is happening over and over and over. And at this point, sure, we can say teams that press really have ours number. Okay. Oh, that energy drink soccer really does seem to be anti-Noonan ball.
But you knew it was coming.
Yes!
You knew it was coming.
How do you not have a plan B at this point? We're 3 years in. How do you not think, I bet they're going to press? What's our plan for when they press? Is it go over the top? Then do that. Commit to that. Continue to go over the top. But they didn't do that. It was lots of passing around the back, and lots of, hopeful passes to one of two midfielders who then get swarmed by three guys and has to, desperately cough the ball back out to our center backs. It is so bad. And Denke, I don't know what they're training, but most of the game, if you watch Denke is calling for long
over the top
balls.
They didn't do it once.
I don't know if he's just doing that because he is like bored because he never gets to touch the ball in these games, or if that's what the center backs are supposed to be doing and they're just not able to see that pass. Like, there is something wrong happening here. And if it's Denke just calling for it because he's bored or he thinks he can do it, then he is not following the plan, and that's a problem. Or there is no plan and he is calling for one on the fly. That is also a problem. Like, there's not a good answer from what we saw to what is trying to happen.
Yeah. And the inescapable conclusion that I'm coming to is that there's no plan.
Yeah.
That it's just roll the ball out, and everyone on this team is creative, and everyone on this team trains together and plays together. And you are hoping that in those moments that they, from weeks and months of playing soccer together, they know that, okay, from having trained together, that when he does this, I do that. And they're all coming up with it on the fly. And I base that on the fact that nothing is instinctive.
Yeah.
Players receive the ball and have to look and see where things are. And
nobody moves.
And the other thing, too, is that you watch a lot of these other teams. And I've watched so much more soccer for MLS specifically, since we do the other show now. And all these well-coached teams and good teams, whenever a person gets the ball, there is always someone whose assigned job is to run and be the next recipient of the pass. So that if everything else fails, this person instinctively knows my next pass goes here. And maybe I see something and we skip that stage and we play a through ball, but my next pass, if all else fails, goes here. And instead with this team, every pass is to someone. There's not a lot of passes into space. And when there are passes into space, nobody's going to the space. But the majority of the passes are right to somebody's feet. And that person is expected to figure out what happens next, whether that's take someone on the dribble or to find another pass. But it's so slow that you never get the defense out of shape.
Yeah.
And you give them tons of time to rally and make a physical contest of the possession, and this team wilts under physicality.
Yeah.
And I've been watching. It's not just energy drink soccer. If you watch these games that they've been playing recently, the tactics everyone is employing against them is to physically get on them and dare the official to call persistent infraction, because other teams know that when you physically get on FC Cincinnati, they make bad decisions under pressure, and their number one thing that they do is go backwards.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to fear that if you physically contest something and get right in somebody's kitchen, that they're going to go around you, or that the next pass is going to beat you because they're passing to the space you just vacated. There's none of that. And as a result, this team, in order to beat anyone or create a scoring opportunity, they have to make so many precision passes where everybody is on the same page mentally, because we're thinking about this in real time.
Yep.
And at any point, a mishit or he didn't see this the same way, so he didn't go where I thought he was going to go, or a bad touch, and it's off to the races the other way, and teams are breaking us off on the counter, which we don't do either. We don't counterattack either. So it's like, I'm struggling to understand what the offensive philosophy of this team is, because we're not a defend and counter team. We refuse to commit numbers forward and move quickly. We are not a possession-based attack because we can't keep possession long enough to generate an attack. This is just Jaap Stam at this point. Like, I'm sorry, this is Jaap Stam.
The one little move that looked effective, and when this team looked good last night, which I will say, and go back and make fun of the Post Twitter account like everybody else has, from about the 10th minute to about the 35th minute of the first half, the team looked great. It looked really good. There was a lot of passing between the front three, but the thing that was so good about this was Marzuk, who I thought was fine in this game for the debut, and Echenike were bombing up the wings, attacking into the box, and then had either crosses or cutbacks, like passbacks into the box available as possibilities. And that looked good. And then we just stopped doing it. There was a moment, it's early on, it was about the 25th minute. Marzuk is he's on the right side, he's racing in. He ends up taking a shot. It goes right in front of the goal. It just goes all the way through the whole box. And Evander was kind of open, and Evander's pissed. Evander's yelling at him. He's pointing at his feet, doing the whole thing. I think for the rest of the game, Evander never passed to him. There's no plan. So, of course, that's a possibility. Just like, I get to do what I want. I don't like you. I don't have to pass to you. Like, we live and die at the whims of the star players, which, yeah, man, when they're on and we're out talenting a team, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It looks awesome. But the second they're out of rhythm, the second, like you said, they get a hard foul, an elbow to the back one too many times, not my night. Not gonna really kill myself for this one. And that's it. It goes again back to the coaching and the fact that this team was just not prepared for what Philadelphia was going to do.
It also wasn't prepared for what New York was doing, and it wasn't prepared for what Charlotte was doing. Like, when was the last time you watched this team and you were like, man, Pat Noonan got this other team? Like, they were ready for what they were going to do, and they shut that down. Like what? Like the match they had against Charlotte originally, where Hagelin shut down, or when DC, where they shut down Benteke for that game. Like, great. Like, Hagelin took Benteke away.
Yeah.
DC is ass. Like, sure. Right. But like, when was the last time you were like, oh man, that was a Noonan masterclass? Like, he found this thing and pressed an advantage, and we beat the tar out of that team. Like,
the thing that we used to be able to hang our hat on was coming out of halftime, this team would have received fresh directions, or at the very least was refocused, and would blitz teams. And we had scored like 80% of our goals within the first 10 minutes of the second half. Like, that was our MO. I think you go to this game in the worst 5 minutes I've seen FCC look all year for the first 5 minutes of the second half in this game. Just not only were they, under attack from Philadelphia, but just like the piss poor passing and the inability to connect anything. And everybody looked lost and confused. Like, I don't know if they were trying to implement some new system at halftime and only half of them heard the talk or something, but like nobody seemed to know what was going on. And the goal is from Matt Miazga just passing to nobody. Again, I don't know if somebody was supposed to make a run or not, so I don't know exactly who I'm supposed to blame here, but it appears to me he just passes to nobody. 3 Philadelphia players grab it. It's a quick counterattack, and it's a weird goal. And, not a whole lot you can put on Roman, but there's only so many times you could just pass the ball to the other team before they're going to score on you. And oh, by the way, this Philadelphia team, pretty good. Like, this is not a fluky team. Their expected goals. So this is kind of a great thing on FOTMob. You can go to the MLS table and you can sort by XG. And if you sort by XG in Major League Soccer for the Supporter Shield, who should be at the top? Expected goals versus non-expected goals. Philadelphia Union's top of the table with expected goals. Okay, like this is not a fluke that they are here. They are top of the table regularly. Like, you cannot just be doing these silly little giveaways, these silly little passes. And
you know what Philadelphia Union didn't do?
What did they do? Not do.
Didn't spend $17 million on a striker. Didn't spend $12 million on an attacking midfielder. They don't have as many TAM players as we do.
Yeah.
And yet here they are. They are, by every metric, a better team, better coached, and they're getting more out of their team. And look, we talked about this with Matt Doyle on the World's Gam the one time, where it's like there are many different ways to build an MLS team.
Yeah.
Talked about this with Weeby too. This team has so much talent, so much high-priced talent, like so much ability. And it is, I would love to know what like Carl Linder is thinking, watching a team that has a wage bill like what, half of what FC Cincinnati does?
Not even. I think Philadelphia has a bottom 5 salary spend team. And
just goes in there and takes the team's lunch money. That like denies any good chances to Denke. Didn't have a single good chance. Evander didn't have a single good chance. Brenner, one that he whiffed horridly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I have a tough time seeing like a better roster than this. And still they can't score a goal.
Yeah.
They can't generate chances. Like they
to your point, I think, and somebody could correct me if they feel differently about this. I think if you were to combine these rosters to craft like the best starting 11, you'd have Gillespie over Hagland, Kai Wagner over Ender Echenique, and maybe Quinn Sullivan over Brian Anunga. But if it's Obi, the Obi we know, I don't think Sullivan makes that team. So you're looking at, and if it's Miles Robinson instead of Hagland, again, I don't know that Gillespie is doing that. So you got Kai Wagner is kind of the only guy on their team that in the abstract would start for our team over a U22 that's only played like 3 games.
Yeah.
Like our team is very good on paper, an insane amount of talent. They should be able to do this. And what kills me too, Chief, Pat Noonan came from Philadelphia. This was supposed to be what we got. Bradley Carnell was not a Philly guy. He didn't build that system.
Like, I'm at a loss. Like, I don't know that people need to keep hearing us repeat this. Like, that was about as deflating a loss as I can remember this team taking. Like, the Columbus ones suck. And the Eastern Conference Finals, like, that sucked.
Absolutely.
Those suck. But this was like, you are so talented and you've spent so much money and you've got players that everybody knows are great players
and are envious of.
And you just can't get them the ball. And I don't know, like, where does anything fix this? Like, what's the, like, they have gone and they have done a dream shopping list of talent.
Yeah.
Like top end finisher, striker, attacking midfield dynamo that was in the MVP conversation. That's done, by the way. He's done.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
You know, we extol the virtues of Pavel Buka. Like, we have multiple $1 million earners like playing center back, and like what?
Yeah. Like 3 designated players at center back between Hadebe, Miazga, and Robinson.
And you won't play Hadebe for whatever reason. You bring in Lucas Engel to play wing back and then decide he's a center back for some reason.
Sure.
You throw on some kid from Real Salt Lake that hasn't played since May. Like,
and he
for
looked
what?
fine.
So that Ender Echenike can play out of position? Right.
Again, it's like it was supposed to be the right back, and this is the time to start him. And
the right wing back, and this slavish addiction to this 3 at the back system when you don't trust, you know, the majority of your center backs. Like, you don't trust Flores or Hadebe. You're playing a wing back out of position at center back. So instead of just playing 2 at the back, you continue to pound this round peg into a square hole.
And if it's not for him, we'll play Alvis Powell. And if it's not Alvis Powell, we'll play Alec Can at center. Like, there has to be 3 center backs. I will die if there are not 3 center backs. Oh, you want another midfielder? Go fuck yourself, buddy, because we're not doing that.
It doesn't work. And the hard part for me too is that Luca Orishano came on in the second half. He doesn't fix anything. Like nothing. Like, he doesn't fix anything. And somebody was in my mentions on, you know, on X, the everything app. It's all happening on X. And saying, well, when Obi gets back, like, my man, Obi doesn't pass forward. He's a better defender, but like, he's not making line breaking passes, and he's not, you know, moving one touch quick passes through the midfield that this team can play through. It's not his game. Like, Orishano is one of the worst passers on this team. He's great at dribbling and taking people on the dribble, but we've seen what that looks like this year. It's 3 people close him down and he gets dispossessed because everybody knows now he can't pass. He's not going to make a pass that like punishes you for closing him down. And I just, at this point, 5 games to go, it is way too late in the year to be fixing bad passing. And this has been a problem going on for 2 years now. And it's obvious either the coaching staff doesn't see it as a problem, which, like you said, is a problem, can't fix it, which is a problem, or is unaware that it's a problem, which is also unfathomable, but also a problem. And I don't, like, am I wrong? Like, do you think this game is changed in any way by having a healthy Luca Orishano and a healthy Obi on this team?
No. And even a healthy Miles Robinson probably doesn't change it. Maybe a healthy Miles Robinson gives you the most infuriating 0-0 draw you've ever seen, right? Like, maybe that goal doesn't happen. Maybe. Or maybe a different version of that goal happens. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, like that is ultimately the problem. And even when this is how you know it's a problem. They're up a man for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And they throw on literally every single player who is remotely healthy that can play forward, that can attack. I guess, wait, let me double check. No, Shirilla was not on the bench. Okay, so literally every single one. Orishano, Jabari, Ayo Jabari, Kai Kamara, and Dado Valenzuela all come into this game. And sure, Kai comes in late, but everybody else has 30 to 20 minutes to work with in this one, and nothing really changes. Now, it's entirely possible that every single attacking player on this team is not talented. I don't think that's the case. But I guess it's a possibility that they all have suddenly become washed at the same time over the course of the same season, or they all picked up, a Costco case of the yips for the entire roster. And that's what we're going to be dealing with for the rest of the year. But there is no way that much attacking talent up a man should look that inept. I'm fine with them not scoring. Again, not fine. And it's a different story if they were just, at the driving range and just teeing off on this poor little goalkeeper and somehow puts on a performance that kept a goal out. Sure. But they didn't. They didn't. You had Jabari. Ayub Jabari is out there. I saw him on the ball more than I've seen basically anybody on the attack all night. He's not supposed to be good. He's a French second division journeyman who does not necessarily have a scoring record of note. He has a lot of good underlying metrics and sets up a lot of guys. He was on the ball a lot for a team that spent this much when Denke and Brenner and Evander are all out there at the same time. As pathetic. I don't know what to do, but just keep complaining.
But the problem is that the midfield on this team is ass.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. And so they kept putting attackers on last night. And it's like, that's all well and good. Who's getting them the ball? And midfield.
Every time there's an attacker that comes on, they are suddenly a wingback. Dado comes on for Brian Anunga. Okay, that makes sense in the abstract, okay? You got a guy who is maybe looking forward more, who can connect a pass and will contribute to the attack. You're taking over the role for the defensive midfielder. Younger legs, sure, he's out there. But he's playing out far wide right. And I don't know if that's Dado just deciding to do that or if that was the direction he was given. But the middle of the field is Buka for most of the game. Buka, Anunga, and Evander. But Evander has a free-form role, and so does Brenner. So they're sometimes there and sometimes not, and sometimes back hanging out with the defenders. So it's just Buka and Anunga. Anunga, not that great at passing. So it's kind of Buka to just run everywhere to be the connective tissue of this team, which means you basically have one midfielder in the middle of the field against Philadelphia. Right. You're never going to win that game.
No. And it's like, what's your option? Well, you have to go out wide, and they know you have to go out wide. And you know what's fun about going out wide? The extra defender is the fucking sideline.
Yep.
And you just trap people along the sideline, and they have to go backwards. The idea that, and I get it's not his fault, but maybe it is, but everyone's in town for this team except the one player you need, which is Guidi, who's a fucking midfielder.
Yeah.
And why wasn't he on the team in May? Why was the U22 midfielder not on the team in May? And why wasn't he on the team? Why wasn't he the first person you signed? And why wasn't he over here, as soon as the offseason started in Europe? And I get it. He was waiting on Slovakian citizenship and well, go get somebody else that can be here right now so that you have another opportunity, another player who isn't Brian Anunga, who, he's played well for what he is, but he's a supplemental roster guy, and he's giving you basically starter minutes, but he's part of a problem where he is not a good passer. He is not a creative player. And if there's not going to be tactics and there's not going to be patterns of play and direction on how to go, you just can't have a guy out there that just has no creativity, that's sucking up time and space. And especially if you're trying to chase a game. And the lack of priority that's been given to the midfield for this team is, we're seeing it now. We're seeing in real time what it's like when, everything goes out wide. And I'm to the point now where it's if we're going to play wingbacks, sign midfielders to play wingbacks so that at least they know how to pass.
Yeah.
like sign more midfielders, and some midfielders are wingbacks and some midfielders are midfielders. But like, I'm so sick of everybody being so one dimensional, and the one dimension is never passing. Yeah. And you end up at the end of this game where you got a lot of strikers on the field, and there is no one that is a good enough passer to make quick line breaking passes or to get the defense out of shape and create an opportunity for one of the finishers. It's all finishers. It's no facilitators on this team. And even Evander's a finisher. He's not a facilitator. He has not been great this year as being a facilitator. And that's fine. And it was great when he could make shots from 30 yards out and defy XG. But when you ask him to break down a team and try and find passes and facilitate other people scoring goals, it's just not working. And part of that is a roster construction issue. I get that. Part of that is, you know, the way this team finds itself. But like, if you were counting on that being Yuya Kubo and the entire operation is unraveled by him being, you know, hurt all year, what are we doing?
Right. The entire season was on Obi and Kubo never missing time. And we knew in the preseason that Kubo was willing to hold out, and Obi has been injury prone since that first year we got him. So I don't, poor planning there, like insane. And then again, like I go back to the Dado for Anunga substitution because it just blows my mind that like, if there is no plan and it's all supposed to be instinctual, the best connections we've seen are with Evander and Dado. They seem to get each other. Like Newton refuses to play them together. Like if the plan is going to be, you got to do your own shit, I'm going to play the guys that play well together. And that worked out really well when Lucho knew how to do that with Barrial and Moreno and even Yuya Kubo, right? And when Brenner and Vasquez understood each other, like when those relationships were forming and were cultivated, they were rewarded by having Yamil Assad become a starter. Again, like, is Dado that much of a piece of shit that like we cannot see him for more than 20 minutes? Like, I don't know. I don't know, but
well, when you're goal starved like this, and this team can't score goals like this, the offense for the amount of money they've put into it is fundamentally broken. Dado needs to be on the field at all times. I don't love him as much as some of the members of the Discord do, or that you do, but he's a goal scorer and he's a midfielder. Like by trade, he's not a striker. He's a midfielder. To me, what I'm doing on this team, if we are slavishly addicted to three at the back, and we have to do that, then the play going forward needs to be Miles, it needs to be Matt, and it needs to be a younger, more athletic center back. That's either Gilberto Flores or Teenage Adebi. I'm going Gilberto Flores. Yeah. It's Engel as the wing. It's Echenique on the other wing. I'm taking Anunga off the field entirely. That's Pavel Buca now. He can defend, he can play that, but he also at least offers you something when you need to press forward. And my new Pavel Buca, congratulations, Dado Valenzuela.
Yeah.
Meet your new box-to-box midfielder. Like, just put more people on the field that can pass the soccer ball and that at least understand that the goal of the game is not to accumulate possession between the left center back, the mid center back, and the right center back. And that those passes back and forth are padding possession numbers, but they're not doing anything for you. It's yacht ball. And like, put more people on the field that will aggressively go forward and put pressure on opposing teams. And then the other thing is you are to be hustling to make yourself available to create movement and open space on the defense for other people to find space in behind what you're doing or around what you're doing, and to stop standing around. Like, this team's got to, like, the give a shit meter has to run hotter on this team. Yeah. And you know what? Like, I understand that the coach might want to win games 1-0. Your goal in every one of these games with the amount of money that you're spending should be winning the games by 3 goals. Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, you didn't invest all that money in the offense to be grinding out 1-0 wins. And if we can't do that, then maybe it's time to have a conversation about who can. Yeah. Also, you can't say that like the goal is to grind out 1-0 victories when you can't score one. Like,
well, when you can't score one, but then the philosophy of the team is we're going to invest heavily on defense. Well, that investment wasn't on the field. Flores, who you paid a large, $1 million transfer fee for, not on the field. Teenage Adebayo, one of the highest paid center backs in the league, is not on the field. Miles Robinson, not on the field. Injury, but who is on the field is a guy on loan, and Nick Hagelin, who is an on again, off again supplemental roster spot. Like, the philosophy is broken then, if that's the case. Because if you can do the whole defending thing on a budget and stop spending so much on backup center backs you're not going to use, and get us a couple of midfielders that can play, or use some of that investment and just trust two center backs to do the job instead of three, and move one up a little bit and call him a defensive midfielder. Drop Angle and put Brian Anunga on the field with Dado and Buka. I know this is another ask for a back four, but if we're going to spend $10 billion on a defense that is still going to give up goals, like, what are we doing?
Right. We only use one of our buyouts. And now, like, watching that game in hindsight, I'm like, why is Teenage Adebayo on this team?
Yeah.
Like, we could have bought him out nearly $1 million for a reserve number 8, so that's not Brian Anunga, or number 6, so that's not Brian Anunga.
Go get the best midfielder in USL. If you cannot bring yourself to bring Teenage Adebayo, you cannot do it, then just get rid of him and bring in somebody who can advance the ball. Surely there's an attacking midfielder or a central midfielder, a box-to-box midfielder in USL with a green card that can do this, that could show up tomorrow. And I bet you what? I bet you that is a guy that will try his ass off because he wants to be in Major League Soccer and wants to be here and wants to play for trophies and wants to be seen by his national team or other teams in Major League Soccer or friends and family back home. Like, come on. Chief, any decisions about coaching staff will not be made this year.
And I'm not, I want to be really clear about this. I said this on the internet, and it's like, for now, one of the second straight weeks, the next win will set a mark for best 3-year run.
Right.
Like, we keep waiting to set that. And now I'm kind of worried it's not going to happen this year.
Is it in his head?
So no, I'm not nooning out. I'm not. But I need to know that the coaching staff feels the urgency of now, like the fierce urgency of now, and that we're witnessing another season. Like last year, we watched a season slip away from us. And that was, we said at the time, they couldn't find the reinforcements they needed at the transfer window to get it done. They found reinforcements at the transfer window this time, and the season is still slipping away from them.
Yeah.
Like Shield is done. We're done with the Shield now, absent some sort of a collapse by multiple teams and a marked increase in our form. So now we're to MLS Cup, and that's it or bust. And you want the team to be rounding into form. The team is not in form right now. They're not rounding into anything. They are, like you said, they look like they are a team that is a one and done or, second round exit from the MLS Cup playoffs. Presented by Audi, as discussed by the postcast.
Yes.
And I just, something new. And the new wrinkle, they've got 2 weeks to work on it. Whatever new wrinkle it is, do something. But like, the answer can't be, we're going to run out Mark Zook again and hope that the guy who hasn't played for a couple of months for RSL, like RSL wasn't playing this guy.
Yeah, right.
And like, he walked right into the starting 11. All right. So that the guy that you got as a U22 can play out of position.
Right.
All right. But like, there needs to be something. And we'll have conversations about whether or not that worked in the offseason. And maybe the answer is some fresh ideas on the offensive staff, Yeah.
Fire the offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Maybe. Like, get someone in there that has some new ideas about patterns of play, Or maybe it needs to be abandoning this idea that the shape is the most important thing ever, and we can't get out of shape, even if that means sacrificing transition opportunities or, helping out teammates that are getting swarmed by defenders. Like, no, stay in your shape. Like at some point, maybe there needs to be some flexibility around that. But no, this is not Noonan out. It's not going to happen, even if I was Noonan out. But you can't fall apart again at the end of the season this time, especially after you actually got the help that you were looking for at the window.
Yeah. Look, it's not Noonan out, but there are a couple of things that you can start to change with this, which is I want to see improvement. I want to see the team respond to this in some way. And if that's results, great. Like if they go on and win the rest of the games, great. This was the proverbial wake up call, maybe the third one this year, and it propels them to MLS greatness. Okay, cool. That would be one thing. Maybe there is a tactical change and a tactical shift and a formation shift and some standard patterns of play that guys can lock into when things are moving very, very quickly. That would be awesome. But absent those, and if nothing changes, we just see how this team just sort of like fizzles out at the end of the season. We come back next year with a similar-ish team and some changes. Then the expectation, even if they reload with an insane amount of talent, is no longer trophy or bust. It's let's get lucky in the playoffs. I just want to see some home wins. I want to see some good games, and we're not competing for trophies. We're looking for good times, and if we get lucky along the way, great. And maybe there's something to that. Maybe there is something to being consistently above average and hoping for greatness, but it probably doesn't come with $16 million strikers and $12 million midfielders and $4 and $5 million attacking pieces and the most expensive defense in the league. You can probably just be above average and get lucky from time to time with a average roster, a below average roster.
Right.
So,
and the thing too is that like, what needs to be understood here too is you go that route, that's when a lot of the same fan attitudes start to creep up that there are about the other teams in this town.
Yeah.
Where, they don't really win anything. Like they don't, when the going gets tough, they come up short. And part of what's made FC Cincinnati different is that they don't settle for mediocrity.
Right.
And this team has always had ambition that was lofty. And the discourse around the team right now as another late season swoon is starting to be a lot more of that. And, I bumped into someone at the game last night, pregame, who said, man, this team's got to start putting some wins together and scoring some goals. Otherwise, Bengals season is around the corner. And you've got a limited window, and this is it is not an entertaining product to watch. And, I see that ownership is committing a ton of resources to win. I don't know what the fix is when the resources are there, but the results aren't, other than the conversation that I don't think is appropriate now, but is starting to feel more timely, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I do want to say, like, I totally understand where people come from on this, to be clear. That, like, when you look at this team and how it's performing and how it's performed the last couple of years, I think it would be hard to say that this team was limited. I don't know what happened to my mouth there. Is limited by what was going on the field of play. In 2023 in the playoffs, we can all point to the flu, injuries, referee suspension related incidents as being reasons why that didn't come to fruition. And that's fair. Those are valid. Those are excuses. Those are reasons why it didn't happen, and the reason why you had plenty of optimism coming back the next year. The next year, you can say they didn't get all the resources in. but they still had most of the pieces there to be good last year, and it all fizzled out and didn't even get out of the first rounds of the playoffs. This year, there are no longer those excuses up to this point. There's a handful of injuries. Every team has injuries, but when you ask yourself, and this is where I give that credit, when you ask yourself, what is the limiting factor of this team? What is preventing this team from taking the next step? It is very difficult to look at one of, if not the most talented MLS rosters ever assembled and say, they need like 2 more midfielders. You can't say, they needed to do one more addition at wing back. They have one of the best goalkeepers, some of the best defenders, some great midfielders, the best attacking talent in the league outside of potentially Miami. And at that point, you have to say, what is the limiting factor of this team? It's the way this team is set up. It's the coaching. It's the tactics. Yeah. And I'm a firm believer in like baseball managers don't do anything. So I always find it funny when we go down that route. But in soccer, I can tell you that a good manager can make a team much better. A bad manager can make a team worse. And I worry, I don't think he's a bad manager, but I do think that there is an artificial ceiling on this team that wouldn't be there if other things were in place.
You know what's funny about this conversation, though? Who would be your first choice to replace?
See, this is the funny thing. So of course,
because the answer is for
it's
me,
Jim Curtin.
Well, no, like if you could pick anyone, not like available or not available.
Oh God. Okay. Is it Jose Mourinho?
No, God, he'd be worse. Like somebody brought that up in the Discord. Like, have you watched a Jose Mourinho managed team? It looks a lot like what we're watching, except he needs way better talent in order to pull off what he does.
That's
like,
true.
Look, I love the man, special one, but like objectively will be an awful manager in MLS. Like his act won't play in this country where like you've got to have a homegrown and a dude on a supplemental roster spot starting occasionally. You'll look at that like, why have we not bought better player? Why is he?
Right.
I cannot. If I speak, I will be. Yeah. No, but like the answer going into this season would have been Wilfred Nancy.
Yeah.
And yet you look, Columbus Crew also not exactly on a heater right now in terms of their recent form.
Yeah.
They drew 0-0 with Red Bull. That's on the heels of losing to New England and drawing with Toronto.
Oof.
And then prior to that, they were in, Leagues Cup, but then their previous result of that was getting the pants beaten off of them by Orlando. They're sitting back in 7th place right now on a +4 goal differential.
And given their form, you have to wonder if they're a play-in team.
So, it's like, who's better? Like I would have said, that's probably Wilfred Nancy, and some of that's on his front office. I mean, they sold off, Cucho Hernandez.
Yeah,
and they
Aiden
only
Morris
recently
also left. Yeah,
and they only recently brought in the kid from Al Hilal. Was that?
Yeah, the Palestinian player.
The Palestinian player that you can't bring the flag of to his stadium. Cool. But like, I don't know. Like, the other question somebody asked me last night too, and I'll ask you this as well, is would you take Bradley Carnell coaching this team? Would you want to watch that, even if it meant they were winning?
So what's funny is the team I saw last night from Philadelphia, that was great. They were trying their ass off. I love little dirty plays. We used to be really good at that.
Yeah, like very dirty. It was like it was bully ball. It was everything was a hard foul, and it's like, I dare you to call all of these. And
their attacks, while I don't think on the whole were as impressive, but like there was lots of passing. There was like it moved with a quickness that we have never seen from a Pat Noonan team.
And that's knowing where the next guy is at all times.
Yeah.
And that's like, there is that like when you receive the ball, the guy that passes the ball or the guy that's closest must go here. So like, there's no thinking about any of this. It's all instinctive. We do none of that.
I wonder what that would look like with this roster. I am curious, like, what if you, like, is it a situation where, like, if you give them really talented guys, like, none of them will do it? Like, Evander's just going to tell them to piss off and not do it? Or do they buy in and be like, all right, let's do this. Let's rack up some goals here. I don't know.
Maybe not. I don't know. I just kept waiting for, like, somebody to stand up to the bully. Like, Glesnes was all over Kevin Denke the entire game. And I was just waiting for Denke just to turn around and give him one.
Yeah.
And take a yellow card and just be like, like, fuck you.
Yeah.
No, I'm not putting up with your nonsense. Like, there's another one where this comes from. And like, yeah, here's the deal. You got to be worried a little bit that the next one's going to end your career. And so maybe you think twice about doing this stuff again. I'm a little unhinged when it comes to it. And we like, like people will look at that and they'll hear that and they'll say, oh, that's dirty. You can't be doing it. It's like, no, occasionally when someone is bullying you around, you've got to put a little bit of fear in them that what you're going to do back to them is going to put them out and hurt their livelihood for a couple of weeks. Like, because
Galesnis was relentless, was punching him, shoving him, tripping him all night. There is a point where you are giving them permission to do that if you do not respond. It's a problem.
Yeah. And like, that was everybody on the team. And like, I know that he's a problem, but like, the only person on this team that feels like he's willing to give the business back to someone is Matt Miazga.
Yeah.
And this team is otherwise incredibly soft and finesse based. And like, you look at the Bradley Carnell coach system, maybe this team wouldn't work at that because this team doesn't have them in them to play physical like that. And they're bothered by physical play.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was waiting for someone on this team. Like, first couple of minutes, Brenner gets like decleated on the sidelines. And I'm like, yep, here we go. And just, there was nothing to it of, we're going to give it back to you just as strongly. And yeah, that's tough. That's part of what made it tough to watch, was that one team was willing to do anything it took to win. The other one was willing to take the other team doing anything to win to them.
Yeah, that's Chief. Is there anything else about this game? I thought the lineup was fine.
I don't understand why. I don't understand why we're playing wing backs. Like, I'm sick of inverted wing backs. Play people on their right side. Like, let them come down to the end line and make passes cutting back across. Like, play Ender as right wing back. That's all I want, is play Ender on the right side where you signed him to play. And on the left side, play a left wing back. Play Lucas Engel there. I'm sick of watching him play center back. Play a real center back there. Just give it a try. Give everyone in a position that there's their natural position to try. Who the fuck knows? Maybe it'll work.
Maybe it will.
Maybe there's a reason these guys play these positions.
I don't know, Chief. Do you think that maybe every single other manager they've ever had in their career was just holding them back?
It could be. I'm open to possibilities.
Oh, God. Well,
all right, let's move on from this debacle.
We got a week and a half, 2 weeks to stew on
this. That's even worse. It's like losing on your bye week.
Yeah, right. Oh, God. And we won't even know the full ramifications of it until the LAFC San Diego match, which I think kicks off at like 2 a.m. later tonight. So that'll be fun. Neat. Let's head on over to part 2, though. Happier times, where we talk about the long-awaited Cincinnati Bucket List Challenge. All right, we are back, and I am very excited for this one because we decided to change things up a little bit. I should say Chief decided to change things up a little bit in with the Discord, or with the Patreon. So if folks don't know, you can support us on Patreon. It is a whopping $2 a month to support the show. You don't get much. I will be perfectly upfront with that. It is just a nice thing you can do to help keep the show afloat. And with that, we would normally have you ask a question that we then answer on the podcast. But Chief had the brilliant idea. Let's change it up. Let's switch it a little bit. Let's change things. And we came up with the Cincinnati Bucket List Challenge, where we took suggestions from the audience, from the patrons on Patreon, and we're able to compile a list of challenges, of tasks that we have to be able to do in the first week of September in order to score points. And the goal will be whoever scores the most points by the end of the week, or by the next time we record, say next Sunday, will be our champion. And we might actually... Well, no, I think that'll work. That'll work. So that'll be the deadline, Chief. Next Sunday, by the time we record, that is when we will compile the numbers. There is one very funny issue with this, though.
Yes. Grayson's out of the country.
Grayson is in France. So,
oh, boy. Great timing. We should have talked about this as a team before we did this.
Way more fun to shoot from the hip. So on one hand, this will be a me versus you. On the other hand, I am going to put something together to publish it so that people can see it and reference it. I will invite any and all listeners to play along, okay? At the end of the week, going into Sunday, I will ask for people to submit their point totals, and we'll go on the honor system, okay? If you want to cheat at this, go for it. I don't think there's a prize at the moment, but I will come up with a prize for the listener who scores the most number of points. But we have a number of suggestions, and I am excited to get into them with you, Chief. Chief, if you had to predict something that was going to be on this list, or what would you have contributed to this list if you were prompted?
So based on the way we framed this,
yes,
it would probably be something like, I don't know, take a selfie from the observation deck at the Carew Tower or something like that.
I'm going to add that because that needs to be on here. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm adding it.
Yeah.
Carew Tower is on there. You can maybe my keyboard will get picked up here. That is being added by the Chief. I am also going to add one, and that is...
Listen to an episode of the Cincy Postcast without getting angry at one of our takes. Challenge impossible.
You listen to the postcast is minus points. Go to the American Sign Museum. My good friends over at the American Sign Museum, they need a visitor, and that could very well be you. So we'll add that to that. Okay. So with that, I have the task. I have who it was submitted by. We have a couple of overlaps, and there is one, Chief, I'm going to need your help with to refine, because we've got a lot of these that were in sort of the same ballpark, and I think we can refine it into one thing. Okay.
Okay. Hit me. I have not seen these, by the way. So
Chief has no idea what I'm about to read to him.
All
okay.
Right.
So I'm going to read these in reverse chronological order. So this is the most recent ones to the earliest ones that I've received. So this one's from Redbeard, and I'm going to tweak people's suggestions based on what other people did as well. But Redbeard says, help the community by working a volunteer shift at the Free Store Food Bank.
Mm.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
So that'll be worth 15 points if one of us will do that. Carrie Jesse suggested grab a drink at City View, which I believe is City View Tavern.
Yes, City View Tavern.
Mount Adams. 5 points. So the baseline is going to be 5 points, and then based on difficulty, I rose it from there. Get a burger from Gordo's in Norwood.
Love that. Love Gordo's.
James St. John. This is a good one. Attend Concert Nova's High Notes Nature Walk, a celebration of cannabis music on 9/7.
Very specific.
It is BYOC for that walk. I looked it up.
Way ahead of you then on that one.
That is from Aaron S. Cuccio suggested, and this is going to be the tricky one here, the Cincinnati Orana Run 5K 10K at Smale Riverfront Park on September 1st. What I can only imagine is a couple of hours from now.
Yeah, I'm not going to make that one. Sorry. Great suggestion, though.
If you do, you're getting 10 points, okay?
Right.
There's a little bonus point to that. This one, I love this one. It is worth anywhere from 1 to 21 points. I took Moomba's scoring suggestion here. The suggestion is to visit all 7 hills of Cincinnati. So the hills are being defined by an article in the Inquirer that he found from a couple of years ago, that they found from a couple of years ago. They are... and they included suggestions for the thing to do at this hill. Mount Adams recommended City View Tavern or the Immaculate Steps. Walnut Hills recommend Green Man Park or Esoteric Brewing. Mount Auburn, Jackson Hill Park. Vine Street Hill, Bellevue Park. College Hill, Patrick's Park or Brink Brewing Company. Fairmount, St. Clair's Height Park, and Price Hill, Olden View Park, or the Incline Public House. Now, the scoring here is fun. We're doing Fibonacci sequence for scoring. 1 hill, 1 point. 2 hills, 2 points. 3 hills, 3 points. 4 hills, 5 points. 5 hills, 8 points. 6 hills, 13 points. 7 hills, 21 points. I know that's not perfect Fibonacci. They had a reason why they skipped some of these, but yes. So I thought that was good. This one, I love this. This says, it sounds easy, and then there's a caveat that is going to make it hard. Attend a trivia night and have your team name be self-promotion for the podcast. So one or both of us will have to compete as the Cincy Postcast podcast.
You find a trivia night. I'll do that this week.
5 points for participating.
All right.
This one, go to a Reds game and play wiffle ball and go down the slide in the kids zone. 10 points.
I feel like I get kicked out if I try to go down the slide.
I don't know if adults are allowed to do like the stand in line and do wiffle ball.
I appreciate they didn't say that they go to the Reds game and do a 999 challenge. That might wipe out the next day for...
Yeah, that did not come up.
Okay, good.
Play Magic the Gathering at Woodburn Games or go to any board game night at Capstone Games.
Yeah, okay.
Engage in some nerdom. This one, those both came from Paul Graham, and Sattler gave us the trivia night one. Apologies. Okay. 5 nights for the board game. Go to the Ark, because I've never met / heard of anyone actually going or even what it looks like. This is from
I've had this thought before of like showing up with like a lab coat with a clipboard and just sighing while writing things a lot. But then I'd have to pay them money, and like I don't want to pay them money.
Yeah.
How many points is that worth, though, having said that?
So I only gave it 5 because in my heart of hearts, I wanted to give it negative points. The 5 points is to discourage it, but if somebody does it,
if there was like a way to go in for free, I would probably do that. I would do that, but I don't want to give them my money.
Right. All right. This is one. Oh, not this one. Whoop. All right. This is a nice one. This is to, there's a very long note. It was very, very sweet. But it essentially boiled down to volunteer for the League for Animal Welfare, Cincinnati's oldest and one of the largest no-kill animal shelters. They also offered up an alternative to attend their annual fundraiser, Whiskey and Whiskers. So
when's that happening?
I didn't get that far. It's possible it doesn't happen during this week.
Yeah. I'm always good. You've intrigued me with at least the whiskey part, and like I'm always happy when we can look after, not kill animals. That makes me happy.
Whiskey and Whiskers Casino Night. Oh, September 23rd.
Ooh,
so
yeah, I'm gonna be out of town for that.
But 15 points if you do volunteer at the shelter. They said think belly rubs and fetch sessions. So could be a fun way to do that. That was from Carl Fight. Caitlin Hardy suggested one that I don't think will be possible, but I love the enthusiasm. Final Friday in Pendleton. It's where they open up all the art studios in an old warehouse. But I think it's literally the final Friday of the month.
Which just was like Friday.
We just missed it.
Yeah.
But if you pull it off, I'll give you 5 points, Chief. We can convert that to like go to an art gallery. maybe that is not the art museum. Go to an
Right.
independent art gallery. I like this one. Have a glass of wine at the Skeleton Root Winery on McMillan, half a block from Northern Row. Gentry and I got married there from Steve Haldeman. So that's
There
nice.
you go. I have not been. I've been meaning to go. That's it.
I drove past it on my way to Northern Row this past weekend, and I had the same thought. I was like, man, I really gotta go there. Here we are. I'm combining these because two people had the exact same suggestion. Ryan Vossler and Andrew Parentovic both suggested go to the Comet and watch the Comet Bluegrass All-Stars and eat a burrito. So great suggestion.
I've been to the Comet. I've been to Burrito Fest. I've never had a burrito from the Comet. So yeah, into that.
I have done this before. This is very good. Learn a few soccer-related phrases in German and go to Canteen Biergarten on a Monday for Cincy Deutsch. So there you go.
All right.
Megamatron. I like that. The gam is all caps. I really appreciate that. The Denke Challenge, aka the perfect six-pack. Head to your local Kroger and make your own six-pack of unique beverages. Rank them in a collective Google sheet, optimized for the perfect six-pack. I don't know about the optimized for a perfect six-pack, but I like the idea of build your own six-pack.
That's the kind of a six-pack. That's the kind of six-pack. When he said the Denke six-pack challenge, I was like, I'm out on this one. Then we came back to beer, and I was like, maybe.
Yeah, do a Pilates class. No.
Do a sit-up. Nah, not really my thing.
No. All of those have been worth 5 points. Now, here's one I'm going to come back to. So I'm going to skip it for right now, but there are a lot of Coney related ones that I think we can make one challenge. Okay. Key suggested an event that again happens on 9/20 is not going to happen. So I adjusted it to Fun Day in Fort Thomas. You got to do 2 things in the neighborhood that is worth 10 points.
Okay.
This will come up because other people suggested fun days in neighborhoods. So that was good. Suggested Midway Cafe and Fort Thomas Pizza there.
Yeah.
Mark.
Great wings at the Midway.
Yes. Mark Schweikowski suggested kayak the Little Miami, stop for a couple of brews at Little Miami Brewing in Milford. 10 points if you do that. 20 points if you get the Secret Service to raise the water level. So something to think about. Cruise the Ohio River from Brock Bermel. 10 points.
On
BB
what?
Riverboat is the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I was going to say, like on a rowboat? Like, what are we?
If somebody has a boat on the Ohio, reach out. Okay.
Yeah, hop on the Hooters boat that they towed away and just like ride that around.
No.
Right.
Okay. Colin Thornton has a suggestion that I am in love with, and I may have already signed up for it. Worth 15 points.
Oh, sure. The one you've signed up for, you've already assigned a 15-point total for.
What that might have influenced this, but once you hear it, I think you're going to be in for this as well. Take an intro to improv workshop at Improv Cincinnati. The next one is on 9/7 from 4 to 6, which I will say, this is in Clifton, very close to Comet. Comet Bluegrass Night starts at 6. Could be a very fun
Double
Sunday.
feature. Yeah.
And Colin said because it is self-promotion, they shared a coupon to register for free, which I don't want to put out to the public because I want them to get paid. But I will share it with you, Chief, after we're done recording.
My sister-in-law does improv with Improv Cincy. I went to a show there recently. I had never been, like, one of those places I'd walked by forever and seen forever. I had no idea what was going on there.
Yeah.
Good time. Yeah.
I think I like improv. I mean, I subscribe to Dropout, which is probably the largest improv like streaming thing out there, but I've never felt compelled to like try it. So
based on what I saw, it looked very fun, and the people doing it were very creative and very talented.
See, that's gonna be a problem.
That might be a problem for us. Yeah.
That suggestion came from Colin Thornton.
Oh, nice.
This is another one from Jason Reibold, who says a fun day in Covington. So gave a whole number of suggestions. That was all they called it the culture tour. So everything that they suggested had a nationality tied to it. So French, American, Roman Catholic, Caribbean, Argentinian, Amerasia, Kentucky, which I thought was very funny to separate from American, but there you go. I guess they are a commonwealth, not a state. So
yeah, you know.
This one is fun. I had to change their suggested point totals here. Spin the shot wheel at Monks in Mount Adams. I'm giving you 5 points if you do this, 20 points if you quote unquote complete the wheel.
I haven't been to Monks in Jesus 10 years. I went up to Immaculata for the fish fry with Schwei and Chris White and Jesse back during Lent, and I walked by Monk's Cove, and I was like, man, I gotta get back here sometime. Like, I gotta do a Mount Adams night at some point in the future.
5 points is yours for the taking.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, spin it around.
That one came from Andrew McCormick. Jess King had a bunch of suggestions, all of which I'm going to give you 5 points for. Ride the streetcar. That seems very easy. Get pictures with the most murals. Winner takes all. Ride Carol Ann's carousel. And I really like this one. This may be related to what we talk about later, the Cheese Coney Challenge, which will go 20 points to whoever eats the most cheese conies over the course of the week. However, it is a secret running total. So we do not provide any updates. You just have to put out there what you think will be the most cheese conies, or in our case, more than me versus more than you.
Now, you know what would be a lot of fun to do? If you're into this, I'll throw this out there.
Okay.
You versus me, because Grayson's obviously in France. Secret total.
Okay.
But we post it in the Discord, and if any listener eats more than us during that week, we get no points.
Boom. I love it. That's good. I'd say just me versus you. We can just make a gentleman's agreement to not go over like 4.
No, but like, it's like if we reveal our total, and like, there's got to be some documentation that goes along with it. We're going to
this one I might want to picture like a unique photo of each one. Yeah.
Right. With like today's paper in the background or something like that. But like, yeah. And like, you know, because I think it'd be really funny where it's like you eat like 10 and you're like, yeah, I'm good on this. And somebody random out of the Discord's like, I got the crate. You're screwed.
Hold up 2 Coney crates.
Get on my level.
So I love it. So 20 points if we beat the best listener. Then it's really what that's going to come down to. All
right, I like that.
Then we have a fun day in Northside. 2 things in the neighborhood, you get 10 points. This is one that, Chief, I'm hoping you can decode for me, because I really had oh no, not this one. There's another one that just like blew my mind. This one does make sense, but I'm not familiar with it. Win an item at Binsky's Bar Friday night meat raffle. They put in quotes, shot of Malort optional but recommended. 5 points.
Binsky's Bar meat
Binsky's Bar Friday night meat raffle. Which maybe is code for something. I don't know.
You're right.
Let's see. Binsky's Bar Friday night meat raffle.
So I'm just looking on Instagram right here. Like, there's $1 raffle tickets.
Okay.
It's in Camp Washington. The meat raffle.
Oh yeah. There's a jackpot draw.
$1 per entry. Every 20 minutes, there's a winner.
My God. Okay. Well, we got to go to the meat raffle then.
It was the last one they did was funds benefiting women and families living with breast cancer. All right.
Okay, good. So it's for a good cause. I like this.
All right. Yeah. Why not? I'm in.
Musical theater. Oh, that came from Nick Freeney. I apologize if I'm not doing this. Dylan Douglas suggested the Northside Fun Day, by the way. Nick Keevy suggested musical theater karaoke at Junker's Tavern, the official dive bar of Broadway World. 5 points for doing Binsky's and Junkers there.
Binsky's in their Instagram profile says top Malort seller in Ohio. So
wow, that's great.
You, sir, have earned yourself a follow for that.
Scott Wilson had a very nice story here. Eat an egg roll from Chung Ching in College Hill. Been open since 1977, run by the same family. Scott did edit his comment later and added this. I went in yesterday, this was a couple of weeks ago, and got some food. I had the most wholesome conversation with the owner. She proudly showed me pictures of her new grandson and let me know she'd be gone at the beginning of September to visit them. I'd call ahead to ensure they're open in the bucket list week. But very, very sweet. He said, if you call ahead, she'll tell you they take 15 minutes. Give her 30 to 45.
All right. Appreciate that. That's good intel.
But that was good. 5 points if you pull that off. Again, the Ryan Vossler and Andrew Prentovic suggestion of the Comet. Lance Meister, this is the one that, Chief, I'm hoping you can decode for me. I have no idea what. None of these words are in the Bible, okay? Throw a strike at the fouling warehouse. Bonus points for scoring a bonk and the sounding of the horn.
The fouling warehouse is, are you familiar with fouling?
Nope.
Okay. It's like the most West Side game ever invented.
Okay.
It's like, imagine if you combined cornhole, football, and bowling.
Okay.
Where it's like, it was like somebody literally like, what do I have in my garage that I can create a game out of?
Got some sticks. I got a football. Right.
So you set bowling pins up on like a somewhere.
Okay.
And you set them up in bowling pin formation. So, head pin, all that sort of stuff. And then you do that on each side like it's cornhole. So you've got your side and you've got the other side.
Okay.
And then you throw a football from distance at the other side's bowling pins, attempting to knock them over. And so this is really weird. I was just reading about foaling the other day, like online, because like I was like, what the? A bonk, I think, is where like you knock the middle pin over off the board on the first throw.
Okay.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be a strike. The bonk has to you're just getting the middle pin off, and that's a bonk. You don't have to throw a strike.
All right. Well.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
We got a challenge. I have 5 points for doing this, but 5 points if you get the bonk. Okay, because I wasn't sure how difficult this would be. I thought it was very funny.
Get bonked. Why not?
Get $5 for a bonk. Seth Ransoff threw out there go to the Cincinnati History Archives at the Museum Center and perform research on the history of soccer in Cincinnati. So I have 5 points for going to the archives and 10 points if you can come back with a previously unknown fun fact.
All right.
Little research.
Yeah, nothing like real homework to do. This is exciting.
Yeah. Aaron S. suggested divert a few pieces of your trash from a landfill to the recycling and reuse hub. This was also a part of Redbeard's suggestion, but I separated his to just the free store food bank. 15 points for that one. Scott Griffin, hike a trail at Mount Airy. 10 points. That seems good. Tom Beaversdorf suggested collect the most stickers from coffee shops in the greater Cincinnati area. Recommended a cafe passport. That is very nice. I changed this to 10 points to whoever visits the most independent coffee shops during this time.
Do I get bonus points for visiting the Madison Place and not getting abducted?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I like that.
Like at the end of this week, I'm just going to be twitching.
Yeah, right. I've drank 80 cups of coffee.
It's like that episode of Futurama where Fry is able to time travel like the Flash. It's like, I need to win this meat raffle.
It's just shots of Malort meat raffles.
The Malort is to come down from all the caffeine, obviously.
Now, somebody's going to suggest you could get decaf, and I'm going to say, shut up, nerd.
Right, yeah, no, that's not happening. Come
For 5 points, Key suggests go to the University of Cincinnati CCM Conservatory, the College of Conservatory Music at CCM, and go to a lecture or a concert. So it seems nice.
Don't throw me with a good time. Like, I want to go to more lectures. Like it's not that I don't want to go to lectures. It's just I don't hear about lectures happening often enough. I would go to a lecture once a week if like there was a schedule of them somewhere.
Preach. So that is a good one. Brandon Ramey said the Poorhouse Pedal Wagon in Hamilton. I'm giving 10 points because it feels out of the way.
Yeah, Hamilton's a long way to go.
So if you pull that off, you get 10 points. Sean Pace asks,
or suggests,
asks, what is the best view of Cincinnati? So we may have to compete for who gets the best scenic photo of Cincinnati.
All right, I know where I'm going.
Good.
All right. I'm not sharing it with you. So
5 points. Yes, no, I'll just get the same one and we tie.
Right.
Visit the Lucky Cat Museum. This came from Kyle Lucal and MG.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
I was very aware of this, but I've never been. So gotta check it out. 5 points. You might have to make an appointment. From what I remember, it's very small. The Cincinnati, we're going to come back to that one. Damon Gumber, I'm giving -5 points if you do this. Buy me a birthday gift.
No.
No, Damon, no. No, so this is the part that I need your help with. So we've had multiple suggestions related to this. This one was the Cincinnati Chili Parlor Crawl from Titus Plank, who said, get one dish from a chili parlor at 3 different establishments in one day. And there was another one, get Skyline/Gold Star for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the same day, and call your mom. That one came from KP. There's got to be a sort of like chili all day challenge. Is it going to 3 different chili parlors for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Is maybe the suggestion here. I
mean, I could do that. Yeah. I'm okay with that. Like breakfast, lunch, and dinner at different chili establishments.
Yes. So you have to visit 3 chili places, breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Document.
All in the same day. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Right.
20 points for that one because that feels detrimental to your health.
I mean, get a good head start on the Coney contest too, doing that.
That's a good point. If you get a Coney with each meal, you're doing great.
Off and running right there.
Right. So there you go. And that is it. Other than the 2 I am adding, which is the Carew Tower Observation Deck and visit the American Sign Museum, each for 5 points from me and you for our total list of.
So
I have no idea how many that is.
So we should put that we should put this in the Discord.
Yes.
And then if people want to compete and do this with us, are we limiting it to just this week, or are we going to go since we're off for 2 weeks, we're going to do it for 2 weeks. What are we thinking?
If we do it for 2 weeks, do we get Grayson back? This is how well we communicate. I have no idea when he's coming back.
I assume he's gone for a while.
Probably.
Yeah, I assume we're not. There's a possibility we're just not seeing Grayson again.
Let's do this for 2 weeks. I'll say that. Somebody with 2 kids, that would be great. I already feel like I'm at a disadvantage.
Yeah. All right. So we'll do this for 2 weeks, and we'll have like a recap of where we are in the midweek episode or in the weekend episode next week. We'll do a recap.
I like that idea.
Right.
So that way we get a sense of how hard or not hard we have to try for the second week.
Yeah. We got a great number of a lot of good suggestions right there. I was the phone was working overtime as I was Googling some of this stuff to figure out what the hell some of this stuff was. This is good.
I'm really happy with this one. I think this will be a ton of fun. This is something that I was thinking too would like be really fun to turn into like a thing. Like, I think there's lots of like passport things that people do and stuff like that. I think it'd be really fun to make like a post branded like Cincinnati passport or even like a FCC game day type thing or something. But yeah.
So one of the things that I've been meaning to do for a while, I think we talked about this when we were in Salt Lake City, was that I was overseas one time And the person who was, she's a bartender. We were having drinks and we, obviously let them know you're from out of town. She was one of the friendlier ones because most of the service staff overseas, they're grossly indifferent to your life. And she had a notes app note on her phone that was just my suggestions of things for tourists to do. And then she just airdropped it to me. And so that right there, it was like, okay, airdrop the note here. This is everything that I got. This is links. This is places to go.
Oh,
I've been meaning for a while. I think about this every so often of starting something like that in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Just so that when you have a random conversation with someone who's from out of town, at a game, or you're on the road and you're talking to someone and it's like, oh, I'm from Cincinnati. Oh, I've always wanted to go there. Okay, here. If you ever find yourself there, boom. This is things I suggest for people to do that is more than just go to the Reds, go to the Bengals, go to the zoo, go to the museum. Here's some stuff off the beaten path.
Yeah. If you do these things, somebody from that city, if you tell them that you did that, you're going to be like, oh, damn, you got the real experience.
Yeah. You actually, you saw what was going on here. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Everybody will go to a Reds game, go to the museum center, whatever, go to the zoo. Those are fine. But yeah, I love these suggestions. So no, huge shout out to everybody for doing that. And yeah, we'll keep everybody updated. Chief, I have an idea for the September questions.
Okay.
We can workshop this. We can take it back to the
we should probably talk to Grayson this time before we make any major changes.
No, this will be fine.
Okay.
I want to put out, instead of questions, I want to ask for prompts for listener stories. So the first one that popped in my head is the weirdest place you have watched an FC Cincinnati game. You're on the phone at you're the groom at a wedding and you're you got a groomsman holding up the camera or the phone for you, or what is your this person's not from Cincinnati moment or something like that. 4 prompts. So through September, we can read some of the responses to a couple of the prompts. What do we think?
I'm into that.
We're into that. Okay.
Yeah, I like that. Let's look into,
we'll workshop the questions.
We'll workshop the prompt for that. But yeah, something where it's just
yeah. We can share the good stories that come from people.
You can. It's story time, and you're doing content for us, and we just read and react and make fun of whatever situation you're in. I kind of like that.
Yes, it takes so much more effort off of us.
Yeah, we're gonna be eating conies and sacrificing our health and well-being for you all.
Yeah, come on, we need to.
Have you seen how much a coney goes for these days in this economy?
Please subscribe to the Patreon.
Oh, good shit. Well, this was a better way to end the show than just the depressing game we talked about too. So
it's a nice reminder that we still have pride in our city, even if the team won't play for us.
Right. They're trying to beat that out of us right here. Yeah. Good stuff.
Man.
Kevin, is that it for the people?
I think it's going to do it. I'm going to go tune into this San Diego game and hate watch them. So
yeah. Also, we have a lot to talk about on the World's Game, given how that Leagues Cup game ended too.
My God.
Luis Suarez continues to be just a massive pile of shit as a human being. What else is new, though?
Some things change, some things stay the same.
Yeah. Fuck Columbus.
The Cincy Postcast is a production of The Post Cincy. You can check us out online at thepostcincy.com. You can also follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky, Facebook, and Instagram. Twitter and Blue Sky, though, you'll find we're a little more active than the other places. We're also on YouTube, where you can listen to this episode if you aren't listening to it already. We are also putting up video content semi-regularly, including the Away Days series. We want to give a huge thank you to Jim Trace and the Makers for providing the music for this episode. They're a lovely band, and you can find more information out about them in the description of this episode. And if you happen to enjoy what you just heard, can I please ask that you like us, that you rate us on whatever app you're listening to. And maybe more importantly than all of that, share this episode with a friend. When it comes up at work, you're talking about FC Cincinnati. I say, hey, I listened to an FC Cincinnati podcast. I think you guys will like it. It would really, really help us out. Nothing helps a podcast travel more than a good recommendation from a friend, family member. That would be awesome. When it comes to the sorting algorithms that control our lives, a 5-star review would be much appreciated. Also, leaving a sort of written review weirdly does more than that. That's how the algorithms work. So maybe say a nice or a mean thing, whatever. Just as long as you give us 5 stars, that'll really, really, really help us out. And if you are looking for more MLS content, check out our other podcast, The World's Gam. Again, a link will be in the description of this episode. That is where we touch on league-wide storylines and news, and we talk about other games and a couple other teams in there as well. Think you will enjoy it if you are just dipping your toes into Major League Soccer. A huge thank you to all of our sponsors. A even bigger thank you to all of our patrons over at Patreon. But maybe most importantly, thank you for listening to this episode.